Buenos Aires, Argentina is a beautiful, sophisticated city with tons to do. But what about the incredible natural beauty outside of the city? Hang on as we get ready to explore Argentina like never before.
Travel. For some, it's a luxurious escape, or maybe an adrenaline-filled adventure. But if you're like me, it's a precious opportunity to discover and to give back. It's time to get real. It's time to get raw. It's time for raw travel.
Argentina is big. In fact, it's the second largest country in South America. So unless you've got a few weeks to kill, chances are you'll be faced with some tough choices. On this trip, I decided to get a feel for Argentina's desert northwest region. But first, I wanted to explore the popular town just north of Buenos Aires, San Antonio de Areco.
So we just took a bus to San Antonio de Areco, and the bus just dropped us off right over there. No explanation or anything where we are, and I come to the tourist spot, and there's nobody here, so I don't really know what's going on. All I see is a gas station. It looks like Texas. There's not much here, just cars and stuff, so I don't know, man. I'm gonna walk that direction and hope it gets better.
After the bus dropped us off, we walked toward where we guessed the main plaza would be. Of course, one rule of thumb with travel is that things don't always go as planned, so you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Still, I was pretty frustrated at our treatment by the bus company, so I vented to my producer. We finally arrived at the plaza in the center of town, and I saw the town church. I decided to chill out there and try to get in a better frame of mind. It worked. Never underestimate the power of venting to the Almighty, or your producer. I took a look at my trusty map and found the Silversmith Museum was close by, so I decided to pay them a visit, and I'm sure glad I did. This gallery has a priceless collection of silverwork from the 1800s.
Can I touch this?
Of course, yes.
Yeah? Wow, this is beautiful. Oh, it's heavy.
Yes, it's very heavy.
Wow. So this was practical? They actually used this knife? It wasn't just for decoration or...
Of course, these pieces were used by very important people.
Yeah.
The silversmiths have special made-to-order pieces from museums and collectors, and they've even made custom pieces for U.S. Presidents Ronald Reagan and George H. Bush.
You know, they wear it always at the back.
Oh, yeah. Why? Why is that? Why do they wear it at the back?
At the back because it was this,
it's easier to get out
they take it
than
out.
to do it here.
Yeah,
and you might stick yourself here, so yeah, that makes sense.
They showed me how the Gauchos used to carry their money on their belts.
So those are actual coins that they could spend?
They could spend.
You can remove them, and so that's your money is on your belt?
Yes.
The original fanny pack?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. I wish they could do that in the United States. If you could see everybody has a figure, you know, how much in debt they are.
Yes.
And how much would this be worth, would you say?
About 7,000 US.
7,000 US?
Yes, because of the gold.
The silversmith craft has been passed down in their family by the founder and their father, Juan Jose Draghi. It takes up to 3 months to produce a custom-made item out of silver. The design itself takes most of the time.
Mariano, can you tell me a little bit about the history of the craft of silversmith in Argentina?
Yo aprendí a trabajar con mi padre. Mi padre era una persona del campo y había nacido con un talento especial para dibujar y para modelar. Su influencia con el medio, con San Antonio de Areco, con el Gaucho y su caballo, sobre él y sobre nosotros influyó en mantener un estilo de platería gauchesca o criolla.
So Mariano, from your design to the finished product, can you tell me a little bit of the process? How long does it take?
Depende del trabajo que sea. Por ejemplo, esto es un cuchillo que no es un diseño especial, es un cuchillo clásico de la platería gauchescas. A veces un diseño especial me puede llevar aproximadamente un mes, solamente el diseño. Pero esto, como es un cuchillo clásico de la platería gauchesca y de nuestro estilo, representa mucho el estilo Draghi, me lleva a 2 semanas de trabajo. Por ejemplo, este cuchillo me tomó 6 meses en armar toda la idea, porque tiene diferentes colores de oro, tiene turquesa y marfil en el escudo.
Sí. But you also make silver for the actual gauchos here.
Yes, of course.
As well.
San Antonio de Areco is a quaint little town known for its authentic gaucho culture. You can usually see gauchos walking around, But if that's not enough cowboy culture for you, then you can visit the Gaucho Museum on the outskirts of town. Most travelers come to San Antonio de Areco to experience life on an estancia, a large estate in the country. I wanted to find out what they were all about, so I visited Estancia El Cencerro, a beautiful working ranch that welcomes travelers for day trips and multi-night excursions.
So I'm here with Eduardo and Liliana, the owners. Guys, tell me, what is an estancia?
An estancia is like a ranch
Okay,
in the States.
okay,
We raise cattle
okay.
normally, and we do agriculture.
At Estancia El Cencerro, you can relax by the pool, sleep in a hammock, or if you're feeling more industrious, you can actually work with a real gaucho and the farm animals. Liliana and Eduardo made me feel right at home, almost like I was the owner of the estancia.
The great thing about staying at an estancia is that you typically share a meal, which is a great opportunity to meet the other guests, either locally or from all over the world. All right, man, so my producer wants me to dress like a gaucho, but nobody's telling me what to do, so I'm just sort of trying to figure it out. I guess this is a scarf, which is weird. Why does a gaucho need a scarf? Let's see, this is, I think this goes around the legs. Is this correcto?
No.
No? Hey, man, I'm glad you showed up. Uh-huh.
Va de este lado.
Oh, to the side.
La transpiración del
Oh, for the horse, yeah, yeah. So it doesn't rub your calf. I got it, okay, okay. Ah, nice. You know what? With the hat, I feel like a true gaucho. How do I look? How does a gaucho stand? I'm not really sure. Let me get my gaucho stance.
I started off at the beginner level, but even that proved challenging. I'm too heavy for this guy. It's time to man up.
Looks so easy. This. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Piece of cake. Hey, it's all right, man. I like this horse. Okay, no, let's go this way. Come on. He doesn't want to ride, he just wants to eat. Can you do fast motion and edit? I feel like I'm on the pony ride. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, but can I rope?
But he moved. Come here, you. Oh, man. I'm sorry, man. Oh.
Roping the cows is not easy. Finally, I roped one. Hey, editor, dude, you were supposed to make it look like I roped it. Whoa, playtime's over. Time for the pros to take over.
After a hard day of driving cattle, I'm gonna end it like a typical gaucho, sharing mate with my friends.
¿Te gustó?
Excelente, amigo.
Next up, we venture northwest to Argentina's Salta Province, where we see some mummies and experience indigenous culture. Then we take a road trip to taste some world-class Argentine wine and gain some inspiration from some of the most beautiful landscapes known to man. Plus later, we'll check out the ancient ruins of Quilmes.
So we just arrived to the northwest of Argentina, and we're in Salta, which is close to the border of Chile and Bolivia. And from what I've seen so far, it's got a very indigenous presence to it, a heavy indigenous influence. And we arrived in the afternoon, and a lot of stores were closed, and we were wondering what was up, and it turned out most people were actually on siesta. And from what I understand, that's from 1 until 4. But it's almost time for the siesta to be over, so I'm going to get out and see what Salta has to offer.
The city of Salta sits in the Lerma Valley at the foothills of the Andes Mountains. With its colonial architecture and indigenous influence, it has a completely different vibe than Buenos Aires, along with a much more relaxed pace. But once siesta time ends, the people come out to work and play.
Throughout my travels, I've seen this flag a lot, but I just found out it represents the indigenous people of the Andes.
There are many churches in Salta, but this one, Iglesia de San Francisco, was built in the 1700s and is one of Salta's most iconic landmarks. You can take the telesférico or metro cable, and in minutes you have a bird's eye view of the entire city.
A must-see in Salta is the MAM, or the Mummy Museum. It features 3 mummified Inca children that were buried over 500 years ago. It also features other interesting Inca artifacts.
The museum focuses on archaeological items found in nearby mountains. There are rare textiles, preserved apparel, and ceramics, but the main attractions are the mummified children, who were offered as a sacrifice to the gods by the Incas. The museum rotates the mummies once a year for display because they shouldn't be exposed to too much light. I bumped into a dry fruit store for a healthy snack. Eating healthy when you travel can be a challenge, but if you dedicate yourself, you can usually find healthy choices no matter where you travel. Speaking of healthy eating, at night I sampled the indigenous staple of llama meat, and I have to say it was surprisingly lean and really good. And nope, it didn't taste like chicken at all. I also caught a folkloric dance. Why does everyone always want me to dance around here? Salta's main plaza is a great place to stroll around after dinner. I bought a slingshot helicopter. That didn't really work, but hey, wait a minute. How come it works for them?
Here's what I like to do. Argentina is a great place to rent a car and just head out on the open road. You can have a rough idea of a destination, but leave yourself flexible and open for all the possibilities that might happen along the way.
The crew and I headed from Salta to the town of Cafayate. The drive is a few hours south, but it's such a picturesque view along the way that it's a good idea to allocate some time to stop and take photos. There was a big migration of Germans to Argentina during and after World War II. We stopped in the town of Alemania, which translates to Germany. But no Germans, not anybody actually. Must be siesta time.
The drive from Salta to Cafayate is beautiful. You gotta stop along the way and appreciate the beauty. Unfortunately, it seems some people don't appreciate nature as much as others, and they litter. So I'm gonna try and do my part and pick this up and put it where it belongs.
There's a must-stop on the way called the Devil's Throat, which used to be a waterfall, but now it's a massive space where you can really appreciate the power and beauty of nature. Once in the quiet little town of Cafayate, you can hit the artisan markets. You'll find a lot of wool items, and this being wine country, many artisan wines. These are specialized wines made locally by very small vineyards and winemakers. Sort of like microbreweries are for beer. Cool, very unique taste.
When I'm traveling around, I have lots of opportunities to buy different cultural items. I try to take my time because I really want to find something unique and get a good deal at the same time.
I can't help but stand in awe of the unique beauty of Argentina's Calchaquí Valley. The powerful rivers, the desert landscapes, and immense canyons. But my exploration of the Salta Province doesn't end here. I learn about the wine industry in these parts and why Argentina's Malbec wines are considered some of the best in the world. Plus, I go back in time at the ancient Quilmes Ruins and learn about the indigenous influence in Argentina's history.
That's good. But did you know there are over 1 billion people on the planet without access to clean drinking water? Here are a few steps that you can take, whether at home or traveling abroad, to help conserve water. Use only the water you need. When brushing your teeth or shaving, cut the faucet. And instead of baths, try taking shorter showers. And forget about these plastic water bottles that are clogging the planet. What I like to do when I get to a destination is get a big container of water, and I use that to refill my reusable water bottle while I'm there. And finally, contact your hotel or hostel and see if they have a water conservation plan in place before you get to your destination. It's easy to take clean water for granted, and these are just a few small steps that you can take to do your part to conserve water.
Argentina is well known for its wine. All around the town of Cafayate in the Calchaquí Valley, you will find dozens of wineries. We stopped at the Esteco winery. Esteco was founded in 1892 and produces millions of bottles of wine a year. Esteco's wines are well known and distributed all over the world.
This is the first part where we are making the grapes, and with a good grape you can have the chance to make a good wine.
Right.
But with a bad grapes, you
No chance.
make a bad wine.
Right, no
You
matter
can't.
what. How long does it take to go from grape to a bottle of wine?
Some lines 3 months and some lines 2 years. It depends on the level you are working with.
Has the wine industry in Argentina been around since the 1800s or before?
Under the Spaniards, we couldn't make wine, no? So it was only allowed to make in the church for mass.
Okay.
After we were independent, they started, I can say, around 1850 commercially to make wine.
Okay.
No?
These high-altitude lands are great for growing grapes. The high altitude mixed with the desert weather and its low humidity helps Argentina grow some of the best grapes in the world. But what also makes Argentine wine so special is the care they put into the process.
We use very little chemicals. We spray in average 1.5 times in a year. Compared to California, 6 times, France, Italy, Germany, between 10 and 20 times.
Esteco wines have their own organic line called Cuma, which is an Indian name that means limpid or clear.
So in terms of organic, you have to do some special things as well besides just not treat it with pesticides. The whole process is very different, right?
It's a very big, huge control. No? The inspectors are coming in the fields that they are taking twice in a year samples of soil, and so they are analyzing if you have sprayed something, chemicals or not. One thing is to say you are organic, and the other thing is to certify it.
That's right. Well, let me ask you this: where can I see people stepping on the grapes? Where do they do that?
No.
They don't do that anymore. Oh, okay. What difference does it make what year that a wine was made?
No, that's not the case in Argentina, because 1 year, especially here, 1 year from the other one is very similar, and it isn't like France that you have in average one good year harvest a year every 8-10 years, and you have to pay for that, and you have a premium harvest compared to the other one. Here they are very similar.
What wine gives you the worst hangover?
What wine?
Gives you the worst hangover if you drink it, would you say? Like like you feel the worst the next day. Is it the high body wines or the
I don't know what you mean.
Torrontés white wine and red Malbec is Esteco's specialty. So of course, we did a quick taste test.
Do you think Argentina is known more for its red wine because it has such a meat culture, eating meat and beef and things like that? Is that why it's more famous?
That influences also, yes.
All right, just for the record, I'm not driving after this. And one glass of wine per day is recommended by the medical profession, correct?
For men too, for wife one.
Oh really? So for men two and for women one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
interesting. All right, drink up.
Stay tuned, because when I sober up, we're off to see Argentina's only ancient ruins. Now, when most people think of the Inca civilization, they think of Peru and the popular Machu Picchu. But the Inca Empire was vast, and they also settled in parts of what is today Argentina. Coming up, we'll explore how the Inca culture helped shape the native indigenous groups of Argentina. Argentina has an undeniably rich history of European migration. But as we've seen, Argentina is also a diverse melting pot of a variety of cultures, including a significant indigenous influence. The small town of Quilmes, just outside of Cafayate, may best showcase Argentina's long and complicated history with the indigenous natives.
We continued our road trip south of Salta and headed to the ruins of Quilmes. Between 800 and 1665 AD, the Dieguita people lived in the area now known as Quilmes. The nation of the Dieguitas extended from the south of Mendoza to the north of Cordoba, to Salta. They were the first to plant corn, potatoes, and other crops in this area. At one time, there were over 6,000 people from the Quilmes tribe in the ancient city. Discovered in the early 1900s, the ruins were restored in 1977. Today, it's a popular, if off-the-beaten-path attraction for travelers.
To my surprise, the Inca made their way to what is now Quilmes, Argentina, and influenced the Diaguita people, as evidenced by the layout of the city, which bears resemblance to the Inca Empire of Machu Picchu, Peru.
The Quilmes believe in Pachamama, which means Mother Earth, and they live by 4 elements of life: water, fire, fertility of earth, and air.
Quilmes are the only remaining ruins left in Argentina today. The Diaguita were warriors, and they fought the Spanish for years. But eventually, the Spanish enslaved them, and they had to walk all the way to Buenos Aires, where only 10% of the original 3,000 survived. The Diaguitas that live here today are descendants of those who escaped the enslavement.
In 1480 AD, when the Incas first arrived, the Diaguitas resisted, but eventually the Inca culture influenced the Diaguitas for several decades. Today, the people of Quilmes are working to preserve their original culture while maintaining a healthy balance of sustainable tourism.
Hoy ustedes van a apreciar un 15% apenas de la población. Es lo que se ha podido, digamos, trabajar, limpiar y restaurar en el año 1977. Los Quilmes han resistido 130 años a la conquista del español y no permitieron que su pueblo sea destruido. Las flechas también llevaban una punta de vidrio volcánico en la punta, y eso es lo que impedía al entrar a la persona, no salía, porque estaba trabajada en forma de serruchos. Acá ha nacido la lengua madre de toda la nación de Diaguita, que era transmitida así de boca en boca, oralmente. Pero los incas venían imponiendo el idioma, quizás de ellos propio, es el idioma más conocido como el quechua.
I think ancient civilizations, they knew something that maybe we lost throughout the years. Like they were more connected to nature. They were definitely more connected to the elements of nature, and they knew something that we didn't know. And when you come here and you visit, it feels like you're reconnected with your primitive self almost.
Visiting Argentina was a mix of the expected and the unexpected.
I think when I thought of Argentina, I was thinking of Buenos Aires, tango, places to go taste some wine. And I think in my mind, I knew there were cactuses, but I didn't really think about ruins. And this place to me is a special place, and it should be protected, and it's beautiful, and I think everybody should make an effort to see it if they come to Argentina.
The friendly Argentine people, the incredible landscapes, delicious wine, and mystical ruins of an ancient civilization. I took planes, buses, rented a car, and I hiked. But I still only saw a fraction of Argentina's diverse cultures and immense natural beauty. Looking over the ruins of this early civilization that had to struggle so much to survive is humbling and puts my own life into perspective. I sure hope I'll be back to see more of this land, but either way, I'm heartened by the memories, especially the ruins of Quilmes. I hope to use these memories to fuel me through my own personal struggles as I make my way through this crazy trip called life.